Hi there. How you doing? It's me, Martin, again. I just wanted to take a little bit of time here and talk to you about time management. Um, or, well, at least as I like to call it, task management, because I don't really believe you can manage time. We all have the same amount of time. Every minute has 60 seconds. Every hour has 60 minutes. Every day has 24 hours. Nobody has more or less time in a day than anybody else. You can't just pick 1 hour and give it 62 minutes, and another hour and give it 58 minutes. So we don't manage time. What we manage is what we do within that hour, how we spend our time, the tasks that we complete during the time that we give it. So instead of even trying to call it time management, I prefer to call it task management, and that just gives me an approach that works for me, because I know there are a lot of different time management methods and ideas out there, and none of them have really worked well for me. I hate the idea of setting up a specific amount of time and then forcing myself to take a break at that time. Never fails, and it always comes at an inopportune moment. If you do the work 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break every 25 minutes, so you break it down into 30-minute sections. Never fails that when that buzzer goes off at 25 minutes, I'm in the middle of something, and then I'm always stuck with a choice of finish what I'm doing right now and then take my break, or stop what I'm doing right now, take my break, and then have to come back and start over again. And or start from where I stopped. And you never really get that sense of accomplishment when you stop in the middle of a job. So what I've started doing is, instead of focusing on time, I focus on tasks. So I break my job down into smaller, manageable chunks, so that I'll spend 15, 20, 30 minutes, however long, to get that specific part of the job done, and then take a short break, and then come back and start the next part. And the way I do that is, you can break anything down into three easy parts. I think of it as the beginning, the middle, and the end. So if you take a job, say you need to write an article, and if you want to break that down into three parts, you can choose the beginning, the middle, and the end. And what would you do? Well, for me, the beginning is always the planning. So I'll do some research, decide what I want to write, and maybe work out an outline so that I've got some stuff there to look at. And once I've got that all done, take a break. Then I'll come back after a short time, 5 minutes or so, and do the middle part. And the middle part is write the article. Now, depending on how big of an article and exactly what I want to write, it might take me a half hour. It might take me an hour to write it. You really don't know. You don't know until you write it. But I'll finish that job so that I've written the article, and then I'll take another short break. Get up, walk around, do whatever I need to do. 5 minutes, come back, sit down, and then do the end. And the ending is proofread the article, make sure that I haven't made any grammatical errors, and it makes sense and it says what I really wanted to say. And then go take and post that article wherever I planned on putting it. And then when I'm done with that task. I've got the whole job done. I've broken it down into easy to follow steps, and I can go on to something else. And that just makes it easier for me. I've never liked stopping on times, but if I stop at an end of a task, then I at least have a sense of accomplishment and an easy place to start when I go back to work. Now, that works great for, say, smaller jobs like article writing or something of that nature. But what if you got a really big job ahead of you? And the truth is, you can still do the same method of breaking things down, only you can break it down into more and more and more pieces. You can still use the beginning, the middle, and the end, only this time, instead of just doing the beginning, the middle, and the end, you take the three sections, the beginning, you take the middle, you take the end, and then you take the beginning and break it down into 3 parts. So you have the beginning of the beginning, the middle of the beginning, and the end of the beginning. And then you move on to the middle, and you have the beginning of the middle of the middle, and the end of the middle. And then you move on to the end. You have the beginning of the end, the middle of the end, and the end of the end. And you've taken a big job and you've broken it down into, instead of 3 pieces, you've broken it down into 9 pieces. And if those are still too big to be manageable, then just move farther in and take the beginning and make it beginning, middle, and end. You can expand that as many times as you want and wind up with easy, manageable tasks that you can complete in a short period of time. You can get the job done, you can take a break, you can move on to the next job, and you don't have to sit there and worry about time. You don't have to hit that buzzer and have it go off right when you're in the middle of something. You know where your break is going to be, and how long you're going to stop, and what you need to accomplish before you get to the point of stopping. Working for yourself is great, but it also means that there's nobody telling you when you have to start, when you have to stop, how much you have to get done in a set amount of time, which I like. I mean, I don't like people telling me what to do here, when to do it, and how to do it, and all of that. But at the same time, if you don't stop and get some kind of a system, something that's going to help you decide when you need to start, what you need to do, how long you need to spend on this, what steps you need to take, then you can wind up being scattered all over the place and not really accomplishing anything and being twice as busy as before. So for me, it starts with planning your day, decide the jobs that you need to get done today, and then take each job and break it down into a manageable section of time, a manageable chunk, so that way you can do the beginning, the middle, the end, however you want to break it down, whatever works best for you. But have it so that when you start your day, you know what you need to do, you know the order you need to do it in, you know what you want to accomplish, and you can set forward on that. And if anything comes up in the middle, you can stop at any one of those points and have a place that you can come back once you've taken care of whatever's come up or the next day, and have a logical, clear place to start and carry it forward. So that's what I do for myself. I don't really manage time because I don't particularly care how long each job is going to take. I just try to get it into a reasonable amount of time. I mean, there are times when I can sit down and I can work for an hour straight without stopping, and it feels like 10-15 minutes. So you always try and just have a logical place where I can stop for a little bit and come back and have that sense of accomplishment. I've completed this task. I didn't have the bell go off like the alarm clock waking you up in the morning, or like anything that just disrupts your job. So that's what works for me. I hope it helps you out. Think about it. But whatever you do, even if you don't try to use this method, if you're going to be working for yourself, if you're going to be the person that's in charge, if you're going to have to decide how things get done, then you really do have to stop and think about how you are going to go about finishing the jobs that you need to finish. If you don't have that kind of a system, if you don't have that kind of an order laid out, you can wind up doing half jobs all over the place and never getting any one thing really finished, and working twice as hard for half the results. So whether you like to break your time up into 15, 20, 30-minute chunks and work like that, if you do better be taking a break every 25, 30 minutes, then do that. But find something. Otherwise, especially if you're working for yourself and you don't have somebody else telling you when you have to start work, when you have to stop work, when you can take your coffee break, when to take lunch, all of that, then you have to decide that for yourself. And if you don't, you'll wind up spinning your wheels most of the time. And if you ask me, I really do believe that that is one of the big things that kills people's motivation to work for themselves. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've ever seen that gets in the way of being successful, because you spend so much time fragmented out, not completing any one specific job, that nothing really gets done. You're tired at the end of the day, and before you know it, you're not producing any kind of results. So I hope I've caused you to think a little bit. I hope maybe you'll give this a try. That whole beginning, middle, end, you can break it down as many times as you need. Um, and keeps it all kind of task oriented, so you don't have to worry about time so much as you know what you need to do, when you need to do it, and then just get it done. Uh, Hope this helps. If you like this, you can click the like button. You can subscribe to my channel. You can leave a comment. I really look forward to hearing what works for you. I mean, if breaking it down into tasks doesn't work for you, then hey, tell me what works for you. I'm always looking for help. And sure, anybody else who watches this wouldn't mind a suggestion. So that's it for me right now, and I'll talk to you later.